Now, theatre-goers are returning to one of the West Country's best-known venues this evening following the enforced closure caused by the pandemic. The curtain is going up once again in about 45 minutes at the Theatre Royal in Bath, but with much lower numbers filling the auditorium. Sarah Jane Bungay is there for us now.
Evening, everybody. The heavens have opened here in Bath, unfortunately, but that's not going to dampen the spirits of the theatre and the people who work in it. You know, there's been a theatre on this site since 1805. It survived the Bath Blitz, the bombing during World War II, so it was keen to welcome back audiences as soon as it was safe to do so. That's happening tonight, albeit with quite a few changes.
You look well.
Well, I'm not all that well, really.
The lines are learnt, the stage is set. 7 months to the day since the last performance here, actors are treading the boards once again.
This is just amazing, because I didn't think for a minute I'd be doing any theatre this year. But within 5 minutes of being in a rehearsal room talking about Pinter's language and stuff, you're like, oh my God, it's just, you know, it's back in your bliss, really. So I feel immensely lucky.
I think the connection between an individual and the story is something which, whether you've got one audience member or 1,000 audience members, is what we're there to do and what we're there to hopefully get from our audience. So I'm really looking forward to just seeing what it's going to be like. And obviously the coughs will have a slightly greater significance within the atmosphere of the room, I imagine.
Well, the first thing people who have booked for the show tonight may have realised is it's all digital tickets these days. There's no collecting at the box office anymore to minimise contact. And there'll be no more of people thronging through the doors either, because there are staggered arrival times for those coming to see tonight's performance. And depending where your seat is in the auditorium, you're being asked to come through a specific entrance to the theatre. And of course, there are the usual social distancing measures. Perhaps the biggest change is the seating. There's usually an audience capacity of just over 800. Now that's fallen to just 350. More than 10 shows at the theatre were cancelled, others have had to be rearranged. Of course, acting is an unpredictable career at the best of times. So during a pandemic,
I was doing a West End musical, of all things. I was doing Mary Poppins, playing Mr. Banks, and it all stopped on March 15th, 16th. I have children to feed and rent to pay, so I went straight to work, just walked around the town where I live, and started working in a supermarket within 3 or 4 days.
the lights will go up once more this evening, and theatres hope their absence over the past few months will only illuminate what a special place they hold for many people. Well, you may have noticed that the actors in the play aren't social distancing, and that's because they've actually managed to form a bubble so they can really get into their roles and have that interaction. With me now is Danny Moore. He's the director here of the Theatre Royal Bath. And Danny, you've had a tough few months, but a very welcome financial incentive recently.
Yeah, we've had some marvellous news this week. On Monday we heard that we'd received close to £1 million from the Government Arts Council Cultural Recovery Scheme, which is great news. And then, of course, tonight, in about half an hour, we open for the first time in 7 months, so we're all delighted.
Briefly, Danny, your capacity, though, here is much reduced. How sustainable financially is going to be this theatre? Because that money, that grant, will only last you till the end of March.
Yeah, you're right. The money has to be allocated and spent by the end of March, but the hope and intention is that by building up audiences in this way, by encouraging patrons to come back to the theatre, we'll be sustained long after March, well into next year.
Danny, thank you very much for the moment. Good luck for this evening. I've seen a clip of the rehearsals. They're absolutely brilliant. It's all going to be fantastic. No panto here at the Theatre Royal in Bath, sadly, this Christmas, but there will be a very great family show, The Play That Went Wrong. Apparently great for all ages, so do come along and support your regional theatres.
Oh, brilliant. Sounds really funny. Yeah, best of luck to them. Thanks very much, Sarah Jane. Now, grab your phone if you're not already multi-screening. There's an app which locates people in need, and it's been hailed as a great success. It is called What 3 Words, written like that. It's free, and it can pinpoint your exact location, even if you don't know where you are or you've got no signal. Lee Madden explains it for us.
Cliff and Judith White had planned a nice day out taking photos of paragliders. Things, though, didn't go to plan.
Unfortunately, there weren't any flying about, so we decided to go down to the foot of the White Horse. My foot went into a sheep's divot and there was an almighty crack. I fractured my ankle.
I felt terrible because it had been my idea to come up here that afternoon and my idea to try and scramble down the foot of the horse.
When Judith called 999, the call handler who answered wasn't local and wasn't able to locate them.
Well, I was quite worried because we're a long way from the road and I couldn't think of any other way to explain where we were.
I just sat and with my head in Judith's lap, in fact.
Then a light bulb moment.
And I said, oh, I've got the What 3 Words app.
By chance, Judith had downloaded it just 2 weeks before. The app divides the world into 3 metre by 3 metre squares. Each is given a 3-word name, so you can pinpoint exactly where you are and give the name of your location to others. The names are a little unusual.
Losing grunt suffice.
They're quite a random 3 words.
Very random 3 words, but it did the trick. It was more precise than by the tip of the ear of Westbury White Horse.
Avon in Somerset Police became the first emergency service in the UK to use it 2 years ago.
Having been a call handler and knowing how tricky it is sometimes to get someone's precise location, in their most time of need, I can see that it more than likely has saved lives with it being used.
80% of emergency services around the country now use it, including all of them here in the West. It claims to work even when there's no phone signal.
I was saying, you don't realise how steep that is.
Yeah, I know.
After 7 uncomfortable weeks, Cliff made a full recovery and is now keen to let others know about the app. Lee Madden, BBC Points West, Westbury.
A plan's been put forward to stop a pub in West Somerset from falling into the sea. The Blue Anchor Hotel near Watchet and the road which runs next to it are both in danger of disappearing. But now £4 million from a government highways grant will be spent installing armour to shore up the cliffs. Andrew Plant reports.
Forget socially distanced drinkers. This pub would love that problem. But they closed long before coronavirus. It's the closeness of the cliffs here that's been keeping their customers at bay.
It's been going on for a long time. It's the fear of watching your home, pieces of your home fall into the sea on a daily basis. I can't really describe and I can't put into words.
Now, I'm not going to go much closer to the edge of the cliff than this, really. You can see where the edge is now, but if you just peek over the side there, that bit of grass there, when I was last here a couple of years ago, was about 15 feet higher. So you can see just how quickly it's dropping. If you come round to the left, that is how close it is to the first part of the Blue Anchor Hotel here. And if you come round this way, the fear is that if the pub starts to go, the road will start to go too. And that is just the other side of those cars.
What we will do is come in with some sizable rock armour, much bigger chunks of rock, bring it in and pile it up to about 9 metres high.
Now £4 million to save the road and hopefully the pub too. Shouldn't this have been done a few years ago?
Yes, I think it's all got to do with money. If the money was available, I think it would have been done. But with this coastline, people have to be aware that it is retreating and therefore we won't be able to save all of it.
The work should be underway inside a year and then the Blue Anchor may finally start to see its customers come back again. Andrew Plant, BBC Points West. Watch it in Somerset.